Hello, this is Dr. Alan Yim. In this video, I'm going to be talking about second inversion chords. So second inversion chords are not substitutions for triads in root positions. Second inversion chords really only have 4 possible uses, and I'm going to give you the abbreviations for them. The one word title we'll call them by, and then in a later video I'll show you what each of these 4 uses are. So pedal, passing, cadential, and bass arpeggiation or melody. So each of these is one specific use. Now, of these 4, only one of them really counts in the chord progression, and really, even that one is a little bit suspect. Some people say that this is just an ornamentation, but as far as the Roman numerals go, we will use the cadential. The other ones you could actually either leave out, or you should put them in parentheses to indicate that they're really not part of the progression. One of the most important things when we do analysis is to be able to recognize these inversions of the different triads. So triads are pretty easy to spot and when they're in closed position, and one of the most common figures that you'll hear in classical music, and I mean music from the classical period such as Mozart, this period from about 1750 to 1800, is this bass Alberti bass, and it sounds like this. You hear this all the time in music of Mozart, and it's really important to be able to recognize right away what type of chord you're seeing. So here's how you do it. Here I've shown the 3 possible positions of the triad: root position, first inversion, and second inversion. Root position is really easy because, as you can see, whether it begins on a line or a space, all of the notes are on the same kind of note, either a line note or a space note. So in this case, I wrote this C major triad. They're all on the spaces. So when you see this in a triad, that is a root position triad, and that's a C major chord. Okay. Now, if you look at the second measure and the third measure, you notice that they're not all on the same line or space. It's a mix. And in fact, you can see that in one spot you'll see a gap. So that gap is the interval of a fourth. Okay, so here's a fourth, and then in this one, here's a fourth. So the position of that gapped note tells you whether it is in first inversion or second inversion. If the gap is at the top, it's first inversion, and if it's at the bottom, it's in second inversion. So take a look at the Alberti bass below. Notice you can see that one note is a space note, the one on the bottom, and the one on the top is on the line. So that's the fourth. Over here, it might be a little bit harder to spot this because the notes are separated by the note in between. But there's the fourth. From the C to the F, it's on the bottom. So depending on what position that fourth is in, you can hopefully recognize quickly whether it's first inversion or second. So here's what the second one sounds like. That's an A minor triad over C, and it sounds quite different than root position. So root position, and here's a first inversion. And then over here on the right, we have an F major triad over C. So here's what these chords sound like blocked, in other words, all together harmonically. In measure 1, root position. In measure 2, first inversion. And in measure 3, second inversion. Now, in the next videos, I'm going to show you what this looks like in music and show you the purpose and how these second inversions chords are used. So we're going to focus on second inversion. And by the way, before I leave you, I should mention that if you do see this interval, the interval of a second, that is normally a 7th chord. So this is a reminder. The 7th chord looks like this sometimes, and the root of the chord is here, and the 7th of the chord is there. I'm going to remind you of this because we'll see this also in music. It's quite common to hear something like this. And you notice the top part of this is a 2nd. So we'll see this, and it's kind of a 7th chord that's inverted. All right, thanks for watching.